I'm Timothy Snyder. It's August of 2021, and I'm making 20 short videos about the lessons of my little book on tyranny. I'm doing this for a couple reasons. The first is that it's been about 5 years since I composed the book. We've been through the Trump administration, and at the end of it, we're still facing some pretty fundamental problems. The second reason is that with the help of the wonderful Nora Krug, we've now created a graphic edition of On Tyranny, a much deeper and a much better book with updated text, but most importantly with illustrations, which I think make the book both more accessible and I think more profound. The video today is about lesson 11, investigate. I'm going to read the lesson and then make a few remarks about what I think we've seen in the last few years and what I think we'll see in the next few. So, lesson 11, investigate. Figure things out for yourself. Spend more time with long articles. Subsidize investigative journalism by subscribing to print media. Realize that some of what is on the internet is there to harm you. Learn about sites that investigate propaganda campaigns, some of which come from abroad. Take responsibility for what you communicate with others. So we investigate, first of all, in order to become citizens. We can't cooperate with other citizens unless we have a basis on which to do so. And that basis on which we do so are the things that we're confident about knowing, the things that we've figured out for ourselves. Also, in order to be a citizen in a democracy which is threatened, you have to be able to defend yourself. And truth is the last line of defense. If there isn't truth, then oligarchy always wins. If there aren't facts, then spectacle always wins. An individual is always going to lose out to an oligarch who can make a better spectacle. What you need to have is the value of truth and also facts which can gather other people to support you. Secondly, we have to investigate to become people, to become individuals, to become individual persons. Why do I say this? Propaganda is very predictable. What people want to hear is very predictable. What the internet brings to you is very predictable, and it makes you more predictable. What's unpredictable is the world of facts. What's unpredictable is the real world. What's unpredictable are the things you find out if you actually look. So as you investigate, you become a less predictable person, a person who's harder to manage, a person who's harder to rule, more of an individual. Another thing I've been thinking about, and with respect to this lesson about investigating, are all of the things that we would not have known had there not been investigative reporters these last few years. Had Mr. Trump had his wish, had reporters been thought of as enemies of the people, had they all been banished from the face of the earth, he would have gotten away with pretty much everything. We wouldn't have been able to understand how Russia intervened in our elections. We wouldn't have been able to keep track of inequality in the country. We wouldn't have known what happened during his coup attempt. Without reporters, all of that fabric of reality goes away. But I'd like to turn that point around. We got through these last 4 or 5 years basically hanging by a thread. We only have a very few journalists left. If we're going to want to have a future as a free country, we're going to need a lot more journalism, and especially journalism that comes from below. Journalism which is about the places where we actually live, not just journalism that comes from the coast or the big cities, but journalism which is from the middle of the country, journalism which exists in every American county. I think one of the worst things which has happened to us is that we've lost the people who do the investigation about the things which really matter to us day to day, whether the water's polluted, whether the school board is good, who the local politicians are coming from and to whom they're beholden. These basic issues, we can no longer follow them because we've lost local news. If this country is going to turn around, we're going to have to find a way to make sure that in every American county, there are people whose job it is to investigate. So this was lesson 11. Thanks very much for being with me. I'm Timothy Snyder, signing off. Thanks.